So we lost to Chelsea and we lost 3 games in a row. A lot of criticism is going the way of Arne Slot and this Liverpool team. And one of the players that is getting the most criticism is Mo Salah, our talisman, our Egyptian king, our best player over the last decade. Is he slowing down a little bit? Possibly. But listen, he's still Mo Salah. There was an interesting interview with Mark Cucurella where he talked about exploiting the gap left by Mo Salah's lack of defensive work. We're going to read this article. We're also going to look at what Danny Murphy, former Red, has to say about this problem. How big of a problem is it really? And how do we solve it? This is Anfield has a headline. Mark Cucurella reveals how Chelsea targeted Liverpool's weakness. The right-back position has been a point of debate for Liverpool since the beginning of the campaign. Conor Bradley, Frimpong, Szoboszlai. Szoboszlai seems to have been our best right-back actually so far this season. Now, yeah, Trent had his detractors for his defensive work, but he wasn't that kind of a player anyway. You didn't put him in the squad because he was a great defensive right-back. You had him in your team because he was an absolute genius, creative player. The cross-field passes, the long through balls, the incisive slices. No one else could pass like Trent could in our team since he joined it. He's been one of the best passers in world football for a long time. And when you lose him from the team, sure, you're not going to talk about losing that defensive prowess. He's not that. But you are going to realize that the ability to set Mo Salah off has been greatly diminished. Also, the threat coming from Trent as he drifts into that midfield inside right position, that frees up some attention off of Salah because players have to charge onto Trent to make sure he can't pick out the passes he wants to pick out because he can see an opportunity. He's got that vision and he can put the ball right on the head of a player or right on the boot of a player, however he likes. We've lost that with him leaving us to go to Real Madrid. I'm still gutted about it. And I'm pretty sure that Mo Salah is too. But did we get greater defensive solidity with no longer having to put Trent in a right back and now working off Bradley, Frimpong, Szoboszlai? Judging by the amount of goals we've conceded, possibly not. Maybe that will tighten up over time. But Chelsea and Cucurella saw that as the weakest point of our defense, that right, and they exploited it. So we know that. We practice and the manager tells us the space is maybe there. We saw that in the last minute. Cucurella continues, yeah, I think they play one style of game that Salah is always ready to attack. So we prepare. It's true. Salah doesn't track back. Do you want him to? Maybe you can say that's a big problem in his game when he's not scoring goals and assisting. But I know where I'd rather have Salah, and that's right up top as an outlet, always willing, always ready. His control of the ball from the air is second to none. You can put a lobbed pass to him and he will take it down with the toe of his left foot and be ready straight away to spring into attack. Not many players can do that, even at the elite level. His ability to pick a ball out the air is incredible. Also, his ability to find outside of the foot crosses and passes and look for opportunities. He's a high-risk player and he will try and attempt the riskier passes if they may lead to a goal. Unfortunately, when he's off form, it means he gives the ball away a lot and he's caught up right at the top, which means that Bradley, Frimpong, Szoboszlai, whoever's in that right back spot, if they've drifted in, there's a big wide gaping hole in right back. And so with all the heat on Salah, Danny Murphy decided to talk about it. He said it feels like Mo Salah's lack of defensive work has become a little problem for Liverpool, especially against the bigger teams. Why has it become a problem now? It was always like that before, and it's not like he had a defensive stalwart behind him. He had Trent behind him, who we know is not the best defensive right back. So now we have Frimpong or Bradley or Szoboszlai. Why is it a problem now? I can totally understand if Red boss Arne Slot has told Salah not to track back, because waiting high up the pitch on the right side for the transition has made him one of the most potent goal scorers in the world. Exactly. And I wouldn't want to see him tracking back too much, because the deeper he gets, the less available he is at the top. If you have a player with his profile you allow him to shine. The problem is he's not shining at the moment, so it's an easy pickings, easy criticism to make. Danny Murphy continues, whether that's been Jeremy Frimpong, Connor Bradley or Dominic Szoboszlai, they are in trouble because they are facing 2v1 overloads down that side. That's what any smart elite team would do. It was a real weakness on Saturday which led to Chelsea's winner, and the concern must be that more teams will be clever enough to do the same. Being clever enough to spot it and having the players, the speed, the pace, the quality in pass to execute that is another matter. The real issue is how Liverpool are set up behind Salah. The other players have to be able to help more and quicker because it felt like Chelsea were working the ball forward and then shifting out to their left, our right, because that's where the space was. If a Liverpool midfielder went out there too late, whether it be Ryan Gravenberch or McAllister, then he left space in the pockets in front of the defence because Liverpool were losing a man from the middle, fair enough. All this becomes less of a problem when you're playing teams where you dominate the ball. We won the league last season doing that, exactly. But we have to tighten up against the top sides because they will exploit it. But then look at this little graph here. This is this is trying to almost provide evidence for this narrative, but it's not that much different. If you look at it, only 39% on the left compared to 36. It's not like it's a 45 to 30% difference. It's not a huge swing, really, that 3%. It's not massive. So yes, they are targeting Liverpool's right side a bit more than the left side, but not hugely. Liverpool have lost control of games. I do feel that. I'm sure you do too. It's not as if Salah has changed his role this season, but because he is not scoring, maybe the defensive side of his game is amplified, exactly what we've been saying in this video. It shone a light on his lack of defensive work because he's not scoring and assisting every game. He did get in good positions, and he was out of form. He just wasn't putting them away. Every shot was going way over the bar. He wasn't finding players with his passing. Nearly every pass, if I remember, was just hitting the legs of an opponent and bouncing back to them. Can we forgive Mo Salah for being out of form? So many changes, a whole load of new players to deal with. In terms of right back behind him, he hasn't got Trent anymore. In terms of the other players in the attacking band, they're not on the same wavelength. In terms of mourning his friend, Diogo Jota, that's understandable. So I think we should soften on Mo Salah, not be so harsh on him. Let him find his form again. And the only way to do that is to keep finding him with passes, keep putting him in good positions, showing we trust him, and let his confidence build up again, let his sharpness build up. Once he clicks into form, you know he will go on a massive scoring run, scoring and assisting most games. And who do you think will end up as top goal scorer at Liverpool Football Club come the end of the season? My money's still on Salah. Yes, we've got Isak. Yes, we've got Ekitike. I don't think they're going to score and assist more than Mo Salah will over the course of the season. All right, let's see what he says about how Slot can fix Liverpool. I gave some of my thoughts in the match review after the Chelsea match. Go back and watch that and tell me what you think. Here's some of Danny Murphy's thoughts. I keep seeing them give the ball away, but I don't see this as an unresolvable situation. Of course, nothing is unresolvable. Just because Liverpool have got some new players and different types of players, different profiles of players, they don't need to change the way they play. They need to get back to being a little more patient and a little bit more composed. We've been too chaotic. It's been way too end-to-end, and I don't know why that's happened. I have to assume that is Slot encouraging a faster transition, but we're moving too much back to the chaotic style of Jurgen Klopp without that bite and hunger that Jurgen Klopp teams had, where we're too passive in defence. And so we're giving the ball away and then we're just dropping back rather than harrying and pressing like mad to get the ball back once we do lose it. He says physically we will improve because players who didn't have a proper preseason will eventually catch up to full fitness. We're talking about Alexander-Isak, McAllister, Bradley, Ekitike. They'll reach full fitness and the relationships will build. And all of those, they'll build with each other, but they'll also build with Salah, get a greater understanding. And I promise you, once it clicks in, you'll see some magic happen. Wirtz has to get on the same wavelength for Salah. Isak has to become telepathic with Salah. Frimpong or Bradley in right back has to be able to feed balls through to Salah, set him off on runs. So listen, I'm not stressed out about it. I don't think you should be too either. 3 losses on the bounce is going to worry anyone. That's not cool, right? We don't like that. But international break. Players can come back after renewed vigor. Slot will have time to really work on his strategy and tactics, be able to communicate that to the players. Let's go again when we get back from the international break. I think we'll see a reaction. I really do. Thank you for watching this video. I appreciate it. Leave me a comment below. I love reading them. Leave me a like. Consider subscribing if you haven't, and hit that notification bell so you get notified when I drop a new video, and I'll speak to you again very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.